so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked. That'll definitely do.
Ew. Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
Tanner37 clinks in the chat. We're back on Tanner's season 1 bullshit.
Turn your fans off.
Ice. Oh shit, you're right actually.
Jesus Christ.
Where I hear I guess we're both on our bullshit, huh?
Yeah. You're
Call
on
me fucking
Oh, that sounds
CJ
so much better. Wow.
Whoopty or whatever.
Cool.
Because we're back on our bullshit. Welcome to the show. Okay, we are live. Welcome to the drop. We'll edit all that out. The Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, episode number 142. I think we're pretty sure. Doesn't matter though. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon, also known as Malding. We'll get into that, of course. And I am joined, as usual, by my good friend, Tanner.
Hi.
What's up?
Welcome.
What's up, little bud? Thanks. Thanks for the welcome,
Cool.
dude.
We're back on season 1, dude.
We're back on our season 1 bullshit. How's your day been, little buddy?
Good. We played some Warzone earlier. It wasn't good. It was fine. We got a win or two. I don't know.
It was okay. Yeah.
It was okay. We got hacked on. We got dev
We did.
errored. We got
Yep.
MG82'd. We'll get into all of that, of course. But
Yep. Downtown.
had a nice dinner. Made some salmon, some asparagus, some baked potato. Just fantastic. Had a
How
little
did you
bit of G
prepare
Fuel.
this salmon?
The salmon, the oven.
Okay.
Put it in the oven. I put salt, pepper, garlic, sliced up lemon,
Little citrus.
butter, and a little bit of this one Traeger.
Thyme?
No, one of these Traeger rubs that's like fin and feather. That's like a bunch of herbs. That may be in it actually. It's just a bunch of random herbs. I don't know. It's good on fish.
Interesting.
Yeah, pretty good.
The only way I eat sushi is raw. Like an Okinawan fucking tradesman, dude. Like an
Wow.
Okinawan
You like things raw.
fisherman, dude. Well, I eat raw salmon, of course.
Salmon.
And that's probably why I have mercury poisoning and my brain doesn't work very well. Anyways, welcome to the show. Today, as the title suggests, we are going to be talking about Season 4 initial impressions. Now, as the title does not suggest, because Tanner, of course,
Danner.
I've replaced T with D's twice today. I don't know why.
It's 91, dude.
It is 91 degrees Fahrenheit in my room. Yeah, it's a travesty of biblical proportions. We're going to be talking specifically about Warzone Season 4 initial impressions. Next week, we will be doing a Season 4 initial impressions of Cold War.
Yeah,
But
true.
we wanted to provide ourselves more time for that episode because we play less Cold War than Warzone. But that'll be coming next week. So today we're going to be focused on initial impressions as they relate to Warzone. And we've got a lot to talk about. But first, a couple announcements. Now, normally I would make this a joke where I would say, welcome new gold patrons, welcome new platinum patrons. But I'm not doing that 6 times. For the first time, I think, ever, and I'm not kidding, okay, not kidding, I think we got actually 0 patrons. Now,
Disgusting.
I mean, so what I want to understand is what did we do? What did we do wrong, guys? Okay? Because obviously we fucked something up, right? There's no chance that we got no patrons in 5 days for no reason.
Yeah.
I just don't believe it. So what did we do wrong? Help us help you, dude. Is the bonus content not enough? Is the appeal of a free podcast just enough for you? Are you satisfied
Agree.
by being a free riding, freeloading piece of shit? Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's what's going on. And as a result of this, we have a special announcement. This is our last free episode, right?
Yep.
Every podcast now is going to be on the Patreon, dude.
Yep.
So
and we're raising the prices.
Delete the RSS feed, unsubscribe from this podcast, and we will be raising the prices. That's an excellent idea, dude.
Triple.
That's an excellent idea. We'll be tripling the prices for sure. So
yeah,
that is of course. Tanner, what are your thoughts?
I mean,
on this?
Pretty awful. We were both earlier, we were supposed to play a bunch of Warzone, prepare for this episode. We ended up playing about an hour. We realized we had no new patrons. And then we started updating our resumes because it's obvious that we're just going to have to get jobs. And it's like, literally last night I booked a hotel for my Hawaii trip in October. Guess I'm not going. I mean, I hope they have a good cancellation policy, right? Because I have to cancel because I have no new patrons. I'm back to mowing my lawn. I can't go to Hawaii. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. How dare you
tragic.
guys?
Yeah. I have your cat food here still, and I'm going to give it to you, but I have to caution you to ration it well.
I'm going to have to.
Because who knows when we'll be able to afford more cat food in the future. Right?
Especially the stuff I buy. I guess I'm going back to fucking the cheap shit, dude. Dollar Tree cat food.
You might just have to start putting out rat traps and just catching your cat's food for them.
Yeah, I may have to, huh? True.
But can you afford a rat trap? See, this is the poverty spiral that we're in now because of you guys. Right?
Because of you guys. It's your fault. You listening, it's your fault.
Correct. Absolutely correct. So, again, this is the last... That's a joke, by the way. This is not the last free episode. Relax. However, don't let this happen again. Okay? You fucked my Saturday. You fucked me on my Saturday.
We were having a good day.
Don't appreciate it. I was having a great day.
Raz got fucked on a Saturday.
I was having a swimming day, and then I got fucked on a Saturday, dude.
Yep.
So thanks, man, thanks. Anyways, no new patrons, no offline subs. I mean, no one likes.
Oh,
us
I got some
anymore.
offline subs. I don't know about you.
Oh, okay. By all means. Why don't you thank these people who at least care about someone here?
Yeah.
Right.
So this person cares more than any of you, right? Chef Kane, thanks for the offline gifted sub, dude. I appreciate it. Also, I missed this one on Wednesday, I think. He had done it like Monday or something. I don't know. I forgot to mention it. But Sliced Ham, thanks for the offline tier 1. I believe he did that because I think Wednesday prior, he offline subbed to you. And then I was like, oh, cool. So he can offline sub to you, but not me, right? So he felt bad. He offline sub. So Slice Sam, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Chef.
Get guilt tripped, idiot.
Get guilt tripped. Get shit on. Chef, Sliced Ham. Appreciate you boys very much. Thank you.
Indeed. So anyways, yeah. Patreon.com/the Dropshot. If you guys want bonus eps, we do that. We do weekly hangouts, which we had one last night. In fact, it was a good, fun, and exciting time. And we do fucking gameplay breakdowns. We do community events like the tournament and more. So it's the best way for you guys to support for you, because you get all the bonus content there. That's like the only bonus content we offer is all through Patreon. And it's the best for us as well, because we get the biggest cut. Because Patreon isn't a rapacious, I mean, just disaster like Twitch is, taking 50% or more.
They're not dog shit.
Yeah. So don't give your money to Jeff Bezos. Give it to us through Patreon if you want to support the program. And we appreciate your consideration. Now, we do have some new Patreon episodes coming up shortly. We didn't release one this week because Tanner shirked his responsibilities on Thursday, and the new... It's a joke, relax.
Fake news.
He wasn't available though. And
okay.
The new season, we can check the
Coming from the guy that didn't know we were recording, right? We planned to record.
We can check the logs.
I say, hey, what time are we recording? He's like, huh? We're not recording today. Damn, that's crazy because we planned it out and it's written down. It's in writing that we're recording today. He's like, oh,
it's in writing. Yeah. Interesting.
I guess we can record today. So I'm just like, forget it. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm going out to dinner. Fuck you.
So again, blame Tanner, and I'll edit all of that out. And nonetheless, and the new season happens. So we're gonna still, of course, it's not 1 a week, it's 4 a month or 5 a month for the Platinum Boys. So those will be coming shortly. Also, the Warzone tournament video, the Warzone, the Dropshot Invitational #2, mini royale on Verdansk tournament. That video is now up on the YouTube. It is edited so that time between matches where we're not doing anything, that's been taken out. And also I timestamped it, so we have like intro, rule explanation, round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, post-game interview 1, 2, 3. It's all nice and timestamped. So if you wanted to go and see maybe a round you did well in, or when we were spectating you or something, you can do that. That's on the YouTube. Go to dropshot.com. You can find the YouTube link there and the Patreon link and every other link. But the Warzone video is up. So go give that a fucking peep, dude.
Fun tournament,
and it was a great tournament. Yeah, it was a really good time, and that took a little while to sift through, but it's up now. So that is that. So other than that, I think that is about it. Tanner, any other announcements from you, little buddy?
Did you want to mention the PO box stuff here?
Oh yeah. So now, last thing we're gonna do before we get into the episode, some PO box openings. It's gonna be only Tanner today because I haven't gone to his house to pick up my shit yet. But Tanner got some items in the box, and he's gonna share those with the class. Tanner, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So we both got these. Nice little gift from our buddy Slivovitz, of course, the donator of the PF Chang's gift card for the last tournament.
True.
He got us these mugs that say "Got Slivovitz" on it, and he also, if you didn't know, of course you don't know this, by the way, but Slivovitz is alcohol. I think it's some sort of like Russian brandy, something weird,
like wine brandy or something.
Something
we
odd.
Looked it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Slivo tried to send us some. I didn't tell you this. So Slivo said that's why he sent us these mugs. He tried to send us Slivovitz also. Went to the PO box, or went to the post office, and they could tell there was a liquid in there, and they said you can't ship this. And they told him no.
Whoa.
I was like, damn, that's crazy. And he was like, yeah, our local postal service here is like they're like Nazis about this stuff. I was like, damn, because we had a bunch of people ship us alcohol without issue at all. Not issue when they ship it, not issue when it comes to our dog ship post office. So that sucks. So yeah, he was like, yeah, I need to figure out another way, see if I can get you guys some. But anyway, Slivo, thank you very much. And then we mentioned this, I think, on one of the gameplay streams. But
yeah, thank you, Sliv. Appreciate it, buddy.
yeah, Sliv, thank you. And Raz got one of those as well. Shout out to Urban Bigfoot, who, of course, is dog shit and we hate. But he did one nice thing for him. So we'll let him slide for this week. He went
it says
to
DSP on it, dude. Drop Shot Podcast.
Dude,
Drop
it
Shot
does.
Podcast patch. That's dope.
DS. God, what? Look at that webcam quality, dude.
That is pretty nice.
That's
yeah,
not. That's not bad for a fucking $150 webcam. Anyways, so Urban went to Kentucky, right? This is Kentucky, isn't it? Kentucky bourbon, yeah. And he was nice enough to get us. Of course, we told him to. We forced him to get this. Woodford Reserve Special Blend. It's a brandy cask finished bourbon blend. It's bottled once a year. They do like one special item a year, and this is it. So we got this. It's a small bottle, so we'll be saving this for special occasions. We figured we'd get a nice little treat for ourselves. So Urban picked that up for us, shipped it out for us. We paid him, of course. We paid him, of course. He may have ripped us off. I don't know. He probably lied about the price.
It's
Get
possible,
scammed.
Yeah.
He boxed it in a fucking shoe box with a bunch of tape on it. Looked like an 11-year-old shipped it, but it made it here surprisingly. He left a bunch of plastic bags in there. He left a Walmart receipt in there with it. So I was furious, of course, but it did make it here. So thanks, Urban. Appreciate it, buddy.
Huge. Excited to try those.
Yeah.
What kind of occasion will we drink them on?
Maybe we'll pop it open on episode 150.
Yeah, that's a decent. Yeah, right? I like that.
That's going to be a sipper. That'll be small pours, no ice. That'll be a little sipper. Nice little treat.
Yeah. We could do that. We could do that for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, thank you guys very much.
Indeed. All right. So with that is it. Not many announcements today. Let's get into the program. So if you were listening for the jingle, here it is.
Fuck just happened?
Dude.
Did you have liquid in your eye? Did you get whiskey in your eye?
Yeah.
Oh,
the
God.
ice cube, you know how they crack?
Yeah.
It cracked and it shot like a little whiskey into my
Oh,
eyeball.
God.
Ooh, that wasn't great.
That doesn't feel good. You want to go rinse that out?
It didn't feel great. No, it's fine.
Okay. Raz will be blind by the end of the episode.
Oh, fuck me. That stung, dude.
That's gonna sting.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great. That's never
Yeah.
So let me close my eyes.
He has to close his eyes to drink whiskey. Crazy.
No, you know what? Here's the play. Ready?
Wouldn't happen with sphere ice. True, low cap.
Whiskey drinking equipment.
Yeah.
Here we go.
God.
And keep my eyes open.
Cool.
Splash away, bitch.
Yeah. Just leave those on the whole episode.
I certainly could. Welcome to the show. Episode 1. Jesus Christ, it's dark. 142. If I like angle it right. I'm not doing this. Welcome to the show. Yeah, we're talking about season 4, Warzone. First impressions. First, we're going to start with playlist updates. But there are none. So we're
Cool.
not starting with that.
Thanks for
So
mentioning
very
that.
cool. We just have some notes here. All right. So now we're getting into the Warzone Season 4 initial thoughts. Now, the order in which we are going to talk about these things is in no particular order. We kind of went through the patch notes for Season 4 and wrote down the things we wanted to talk about as we thought of them or as we saw them. So we're going to cover broad strokes pretty much everything that was big and transformative or new. But again, they're not in any particular order, so structure's a little more loose, but it's going to still be thorough nonetheless. Now, we're going to start with the new weapons, and we're going to start with the new SCAR, and apparently this is called the C58. So the C58 is a gun in Cold War and Warzone. And as I said, it's like a SCAR. That's what it feels like, and that's what it looks like as well. That's also what it handles like and what it shoots like. It's literally, I would say, just a Cold War SCAR, which means it's better than the MW SCAR in Warzone. Mine is not fully leveled yet, but it feels fine. I don't think it is terrible by any means. I also don't think it's particularly good. However, I don't have the task force barrel, I don't have the agency suppressor, and I don't have field agent grip yet.
Yeah.
So I can't give you guys, excuse me, a complete thorough review here. But I have been, I used it all today, as low of a level as mine is, and it felt pretty good. But I can't see it being like an exceptional AR in Warzone. I see it being a fine AR. What are your thoughts on the C58, Tanner?
Yeah, so mine also isn't max level. I think mine's like 38 or so now, 36. So yeah, we don't have the 3 best attachments for it. Either way, this gun has more recoil than a lot of the other Cold War ARs without attachments on it or at this level. Like if this was like a Farah or a Krig or something, they would have far less recoil. And it doesn't have a good fire rate. It's a slow firing weapon. Raz pretty much described it perfectly. It's Cold War's version of the SCAR, but it definitely has a faster time to kill and it holds more ammo. But it handles like it. It's got the fire rate of one. I mean, honestly, it may even have, the way we have it right now without those attachments, of course, it has more recoil than a Modern Warfare SCAR, actually.
Yeah.
Because Bango was using the SCAR earlier, and he gave it to me. His setup had no fucking recoil. And that was a modern
SCAR,
yeah, exactly. So, it doesn't feel that great, but I know it's going to get better, because again, we don't have the 3 best attachments for it. So, I'm hoping and thinking that the task force will make it really good. But yeah, it feels okay right now. And it's going to be good. It'll be a usable AR, 100% for sure. It'll be in the rotation. But I don't see a reason to use it over other Cold War assault rifles now. Like the Cold War AK. That's easier to control now with the new barrels. The FARA. I mean, guns like that are they kill faster and they have less recoil. So I don't see exactly how the C58 is going to fit in there. But nonetheless, it's still a viable gun, still has a very competitive time to kill at range. It also, well, again, that's just attachments. It felt like it had dog shit bullet velocity too. But that's probably just the barrel that we're using.
Yeah, it could
so,
be.
yes, C58 is good. On paper, it's got a good time to kill. But again, slow fire rate weapons, you miss one shot and that could be the end of the gunfight for you. If you miss one shot and the gun they're using has a time to kill that's slower by like 80 milliseconds, they can still win that gunfight just based on fire rate alone.
Exactly.
So that's something to keep in mind with those guns. That's like the Milano that we'll probably touch on a little bit later here. They do a good amount of damage, but low fire rate guns usually aren't my favorite in Warzone especially. But nonetheless, it's fun. I'm glad we have another assault rifle that's for sure competitive. It's not overpowered, so that's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about all I have on it.
Like you said, it feels to me like a FARA that's worse than a FARA. Like the FARA's kind of slow handling, chunky, does a lot of damage in the same way as the C58, but the FARA is just better. Like it has less recoil. I think it has a faster time to kill also.
It does.
So if you want a gun like that, then why wouldn't I use a FARA? Like, what's the advantage of a C58 over a FARA? I don't know if there is one. Like, so
actually, C58 time to kill is slightly faster by like 20 milliseconds long range. But again, it has they have the same bullet velocity, but it's the rate of fire. Rate of fire in the C58 is 550, a FARA is 790. So again, one shot with the C58. On paper, it's got a great time to kill, but if you miss one shot, which you will, you're going to lose a gunfight.
Yeah.
That's what sucks about it.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
It's a very competitive assault rifle.
So the next new gun is a power tool. Tanner can tell us all about how realistic this weapon is. The nail gun.
Well.
So Tanner's been known to wield a nail gun or two in his former career.
I've nailed a few times for sure.
Occupation. He nails things with a fucking nail gun. So they added a nail gun. It uses SMG ammo in Warzone. That's what it takes. The magazine or the whatever is 20 rounds, 20 nails, and it's so. First of all, you can't use there are no attachments for the nail gun. So you don't have to level it to use it. At level 1, it's the same as level 50. There's no attachments available. That sucks for me, obviously, because attachments are what makes guns good most of the time. And the nail gun doesn't have access to those. So you can't get extended nails. You can't get quick re-nail.
Dude,
you can't use an alternate ammo type like screws.
Yeah.
These things are unavailable. It's just a nail gun and it's an SMG. Go ahead.
It's funny though, because some nail guns use like strips of nails that it's like a drum magazine at the bottom of the nail gun. That's what's funny, is if you could get an extended mag in this game that fired those, because they have them. They actually it looks like a drum magazine. It's pretty funny.
That is funny. That's cool. Yeah. Well, Activision was too lazy to do any of that, so it's just a nail gun. Now, in Cold War, this thing's fucking awful. It's 15 rounds in Cold War instead of 20, like it is in Warzone. And the velocity is fucking terrible. Yes.
Wow.
However, in Warzone, it seems better than in Cold War. Velocity seems like fine for SMG range, sort of, but not really.
No, the velocity's awful.
I would say the nail gun is unusable outside of 15 meters.
At the most, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But up close, inside of that, it does cook. It pumps, dude. It pumps. And the reload speed is fine. Like, it's pretty fast. So overall, it's almost a meme weapon that's not worth using, but you could use it and like do fine, but it's not versatile at all. And it's not like better than any SMG really. I mean, Cold War MP5 is just infinitely better than a nail gun. I don't know if it kills faster up close, but it might. But it's also a fucking gun.
Yeah.
And you can put attachments on it. You can shoot people farther than 15 meters out, etc.
Well, not with the Cold War MP5. You can shoot them up to about maybe 14 meters.
Well, if you have a Cronus, you can shoot them as far as you want. Which many people do, of course. So yeah, I don't know. It's cute. I'm more confused at why the fuck this was an idea that was actually implemented.
Because it was something in an old Black Ops game.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Black Ops 3. They made reference to that. That's right.
Yeah, that's the only reason they added it in.
So you haven't used this, right?
I haven't used it because I thought so. At first, I didn't realize it didn't have attachments, so I was gonna buy the bundle, and then you guys were talking about yesterday, like, oh, you can't change the attachments that way. I'm like, oh yeah, that sucks. So I didn't buy it. And then later we come to find out there are no attachments for it. So just buy the bundle. It's not worth spending the hours to unlock it, actually. Literally just buy the bundle. Give Activision more money that they don't need, that they don't deserve, but it's better than you wasting your time. Yeah. This thing fucks, though. We were in downtown in a building, pushing this kid through the stairwell. 4 of us. Jake got downed by somebody. Was that when we were playing with Jake? I don't know. Somebody got downed. Raz and I were running. This dude comes around the corner with a nail gun. We're in line running down the stairs. He downs both of us and finishes us in like 2 seconds before we can even react and shoot him. And I was just like, dude, what the hell was that? And I look at the kill cam and he killed us with a nail gun. So situations like that, it almost can't be beat. I guess it can be beat by Cali sticks if you can get close enough, but there's no way like the Cold War MP5 kills that fast at that range.
Interesting.
I mean, this was like 4 meters away. He just gunned us down quickly. Yeah. So it is insane up close, but you have to get on top of them to use it. So anywhere else, it's completely unusable. But if you're like clearing a building or something like that, running upstairs like that, it's very, very good. And it looks, it's like a fun little meme weapon to mess around with, I guess. Yeah. But, all in all, I don't think this is something we'll be seeing like the people in the fucking World Series of Warzone using, right? Nothing like that.
Hope not. Can you imagine?
I don't know. Maybe they will. But it's a nail gun that uses air, but there's no air line attached to it. So how is it firing? I don't know. Good question.
Another thing that
just make a battery operated one because they have those now, right? Just put a battery at the bottom of it.
True. Yeah, sure. I'm unclear whether or not you show up on UAV when you shoot it, by the way. I think that would be like really good to know, and I just don't know. And then the last thing I'll say on this, can't really hip fire it. The hip fire spread's not very tight at all. And since you can't put a 5 milliwatt on it, obviously, it makes it kind of cringe. If I'm going to shoot someone from 4 meters, I want to be hip firing, and this I don't think is that reliable. So I don't know. But yeah, it fucks. It can fuck for sure. I've gotten a number of kills with it, but I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Now, the last new gun that's out. Some of you may have played with this. Some of you may have died to it. This is the new light machine gun called the MG82. Now, Tanner and I were saying on Wednesday, oh, it's probably just going to be another LMG. It's going to be fucking slow. It's probably going to be fine, but it's an LMG. It'll never be meta. But it'll fucking Cold War. And that is absolutely cap. Because this thing fucks in Warzone.
Well, yeah.
It fucks, dude. There is no recoil at all. The fire rate is fucking insane. Insanely fast. Extremely fast handling for an LMG. It probably ADS is faster than an Odin. Or a Scar, like an MW Scar, actually. Like fast ADS time. And it has good damage. So if you combine all those things, you get insane time to kill. And the worst part is, it couldn't be easier to use because there's no recoil. And the fire rate's so fast that it's so forgiving. If you miss a couple shots, don't care. As soon as you're on, they're just dying. Just dying. It's that simple. The MG82, in my view, is the most overpowered weapon that's ever been in Warzone. Tanner disagrees with this take.
Strongly.
I've used all the fucking OP guns in Warzone. I've played since Warzone came out. Nothing is easier or more efficient at raping people than the MG82, dude. It is absurd. It's obscene how easily you can get kills with it. If you see someone and they don't see you, they will die. There's no chance. They can't escape. It's not happening. It's so easy to use and has such a fast time to kill and unlimited range. It's an LMG. That I think it's the most overpowered gun that's ever been in Warzone. Now, luckily, Raven's already confirmed this will be getting nerfed shortly. We could have told you that the first time we used it. So we're not going to have to put up with it for too much longer, hopefully. But as it stands right now, absolutely fucking disgusting gun. What are your thoughts?
This isn't my opinion. It's just a fact. Raz is simply wrong, right? So everyone is molding. Man. They probably already paused the episode. They're writing a 1-star review. They're DMing me. They're DMing Raz to bitch and say, oh, that's the dumbest thing they've ever heard on the program. We say a lot of dumb things, and they're saying that's the dumbest, of course. So the DMR was so much worse in every single way that it's incredible that he's saying this. This gun is busted. It's overpowered. Needs a nerf. 100%. It is not the most overpowered broken gun in Warzone ever. You're just fucking dumb. DMR was by far the most overpowered busted weapon we've ever had in Verdansk by a mile. And we were talking about this before the show. I was even arguing that the M16 and AUG were more busted than the M80, MG82.
MG82, yeah.
The reason being, that was back when the Axial was a sniper scope. So you were using a burst weapon with 0 recoil, with insane bullet velocity, that had a fucking sniper scope on it in the form of an Axial 3 times. Not even close. So I would argue M16 and AUG were pretty similar to what the MG82 is in terms of being overpowered and busted. None of those things are as close to as bad as the DMR was, though. The DMR, you could just 2-tap people from like 400 meters away without issue whatsoever. MG82, you can't do that. At that range, it has recoil. So, but it's the most overpowered gun they've put in a while, because they've been doing a good job at that recently. I don't think I've ever leveled up a gun as fast as I leveled this thing up in Plunder, though, dude. It was fun.
Tanner was texting me saying, I'm playing Plunder alone to level this gun up. And I was like, damn, he's motivated. Because that is not some shit Tanner normally does.
I always play Plunder to level new guns. Now that's the only time I ever do it now. But dude, that plus double weapon XP, oh my god. You land to the east of storage. There's that like warehouse building. You get on the roof of it, because everyone that dies at storage spawns to the east in the mountains right there, and they float back in and they land storage. So
the west, you mean?
West, sorry, west, yes.
Yeah.
So you sit on that,
okay, I know
that warehouse to the west.
Yep.
You sit on the roof of it. If people start coming in, you'll get the audio cue saying there's enemies inbound in your area. You find them, you mow them down before they're 20 feet from the ground. But all of those guys that just died at storage fly right over you to get back over there, and you just fucking mow them down. Yeah. So it was super easy to level up, very fast. Yeah, but it's not more bust than the DMR. Not even close. I mean,
if it mattered at all, I would keep arguing this point, but it doesn't matter.
Because you're wrong.
Cap. I mean, super cap. Dude, me with an MG82 versus me with a DMR, I will win 8 out of 10 of those with an MG82. The DMR didn't 2-tap, by the way. It 3-tapped or 4-tapped, I think, unless you were hitting headshots. Which
you did. All you did was hit headshots. My highest kill game in Warzone by like 4 kills was during the DMR meta. That's when everyone got their PRs.
Tanner, you have to remember the DMR was in the game for like 3 weeks. That's why everyone is so fucking traumatized by it. If the MG82 stayed around for 3 weeks, you'd see a lot new PRs. I guarantee it.
I don't know. Even when we were playing Verdansk today, there were surprisingly not that many people using it. I don't really know why that was, but we weren't getting like killed by it over and over again.
Yet. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe people already saw that it's getting nerfed, so they're like, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna bother leveling it now." I don't know. Even though it's super easy to level and there's double weapon XP, but whatever. So next, we kind of wanted to touch on like what needs to change with this gun. So what do you think needs to change with the MG82?
Yeah. So obviously this needs to be nerfed, and Raven said they're going to. I would say, and Tanner and I pretty much agree on this. First of all, if you want to pull up this image,
yeah.
I hyperlinked the image enlarged thing. This is a spreadsheet courtesy of JGod, friend of the pod, showing all, I believe this is all the AR, or a select number of ARs and LMGs in the video game.
This may be all of them.
It might be all
ones
of them.
that people
use.
Like
a lot. So if we go to the very bottom here, we need to take a quick detour. If we go to the very bottom here on the left, we see in the weapon column, we have the word kilo.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, look at that thing.
And now if we go to the second most right-hand column, it says LRTTK, long range TTK. The kilo is the only weapon of the fucking 20 that are on this list, 25, with a 4-digit long range time to kill with 1,039 millisecond long range time to kill. No, I thought
it was good.
Well, that's what's interesting. Weird. Out of the fucking 40 guns on this list, only the kilo takes 1,000 or more milliseconds to kill someone at long range. Now, let me do some quick math for you. 1,000 milliseconds is also known as 1 second. It takes longer than a second if you're hitting all your shots to kill someone. That is catastrophically slow. And this is just, here's some stats for us to tell you once again, the kilo's dog shit. Stop using it. It's the slowest killing of every AR and LMG in the game by a digit, dude. By an actual digit. Meanwhile, the MG82 kills almost literally in half the time. 524 milliseconds. So
crazy. Yeah.
Anyway, so the kilo's dog shit. Stay mad. Fuck you, TikTok. Also, if you look at this again, and these are rank ordered by long range time to kill for the most part.
It's ranked by long range damage per second. That's what it is.
Okay, got it. So yeah. So the MG82 is just fucking, the damage itself is fucking insane, which says nothing about the, like, no recoil and the handling. So first of all, if you wanted to nerf this gun, you would need to make it kill more slowly. Even if you made it handle worse and gave it more recoil, it still kills just too fast, it seems like. So yeah. I think what you do is maybe a flat 10 to 20% damage reduction, how much damage it does. On top of that, it needs to have a little bit more recoil, not too much, but it needs to handle a lot slower because this thing is way too fast handling for an LMG that chunks this hard. I mean, dude, it ADS is so like an AR, actually. It needs to be a lot slower. And then the recoil, I think it needs a little bit more. If it had too much recoil on top of the other nerfs I'm proposing, then it wouldn't be worth using. So I wouldn't go that far. But I think it needs to handle a lot more slowly and have less damage.
Yeah,
that's how I would nerf this.
I'm pretty sure, actually, this ADS is quicker than, like, the RAM, the AMAX, the Kilo, like, all of those. Like, with like the AMAX meta build and the MG82 meta build, which could be 0 attachments, frankly. But with how you build those weapons, I'm pretty sure the MG82 still ADS is faster, and you have better ADS movement speed, I think, because Modern Warfare ARs don't have good aim down sight movement speed at all. So you can zoom around, you ADS really quick, you have the highest fire rate in the game. It's just insane. So, where are my notes at for this? Yeah, so for sure 100% more recoil, definitely. Without a doubt. That's the easiest thing they can do, and I think that's the biggest thing they probably will do. As Raz said, for sure, it needs just flat. I mean, it literally, you can see that time to kill at range, it does need just a straight damage nerf. Because if that time to kill was, you know, a little bit slower than some of these other guns, then that'd be okay. Then they just need to add some recoil. But no, it really does hit too hard too. So it needs to do less damage, more recoil. And I think it does need a mobility hit, but I think the mobility is honestly pretty in line with the other Cold War LMGs. Because if they hit the mobility, then I think it's just useless. If they hit damage, recoil, and mobility, then it's just thrown out the window. There's no reason to use the gun. I want it to still be usable, but I don't just want this weapon to disappear. I want some people to be able to use it if they want, if they like using LMGs. I personally don't, but I want to have that option. So what we kind of think will happen is they'll probably end up nerfing this twice, I bet. They'll do something little to start. Maybe to start, they'll just do like recoil, or they'll just do like a slight damage decrease, or they'll change something with the effective damage range. And then everyone will be like, okay, this is still too overpowered. And then next week they'll do another pass.
I think
and
that's what they'll do too. Yeah.
Then they'll do whatever else they didn't finish. So I don't think they're just going to kill it in one nerf. I think they probably will just barely not do enough, and then they'll have to do a second pass on it.
Yeah.
But they'll still end up making it usable, and that's fine with us.
I agree. Yeah, I want it to be usable. That's why I'm saying, yeah, I agree with you. And that's what Raven has been doing. I think that's what they will do also. They're probably going to do one pass. It won't be quite enough. And then they'll do another one. I mean, think about it. Think about the AMAX. They've nerfed this like 4 times in a row in like a month. Like actually. So they're erring on the side of under nerfing rather than over nerfing and gutting the class or weapon, and I think that's good. That's probably what they'll do here, and I'm fine with that. So either way, that'll be changing pretty fucking soon. I would imagine Tuesday it'll be changed. It'll be hot fixed, or Thursday at the latest. But
yeah,
those would be my guesses.
It'll 100% be next week, because they already they were responding. You know, their social media manager was responding to some content creators on Twitter that had said, like, they were saying things like kind of as a joke. They were like, "Yo, wait like at least a week to nerf this, you know, so they can get out content videos." Yeah, and then Raven would write back, they're like, "Yeah, no," like knowing that it's going to be before a week. So probably next Wednesday, Thursday at the latest, there'll be a patch. I'm kind of thinking it'll actually come Tuesday. Probably they'll probably do like a little game settings update and they'll throw it in there. But either way, 100% there will be a fix for it upcoming this next week.
Yeah. So either way, that'll be good. So overall, not too happy with the guns, to be honest. Like the nail guns, kind of a joke. The C58 might end up being good. Let me look at this chart again, actually. Where's the C58 on
It's
here?
got good potential time to kill.
655 long range time to kill is pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Cold War AK is faster, though.
Cold War AK is faster. It has a higher fire rate. It has a larger potential magazine. Their velocity is the same.
I imagine the handling on the Cold War AK is better too. I feel like that gun's just going to be nerfed soon. I think it's that simple.
Cold War AK, you think, really?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people are still sleeping on it right now, but this thing has been good, very good for fucking a while.
Yeah.
And once people kind of catch on, I think they're going to end up nerfing it. Because it's just so competitive, man. It's so competitive. But I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, again, either way, the C58 I'm still holding out some hope for. I want to get it max level, try it out with ideal attachments, and then see how it goes. But anyways,
yeah, I'm still gonna max it out and everything and give it a shot, because that's how Warzone is right now. You can use all of these different guns still, and that actually only got better. Right? Well, it made some these updates to the barrels made a lot of guns more usable, but then it also kind of pushed guns further away, like the Kilo, the Ram, the AMAX, etc., that people were using.
Yes, which
So,
we'll get into.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. All right, next, Verdansk Resurgence. So we had talked about like, oh, cool, they're doing Resurgence, or excuse me, is it Resurgence or Rebirth? I never know. The Verdansk, where you respawn as long as one of your squad.
It's called
is
mini
alive.
Resurgence or something.
Yeah. It's like Rebirth Island Resurgence, but it's on Verdansk, and it's like a smaller starting circle. So Tanner and I were excited about this mode. We were like, oh, this will be cool. This will be interesting. We're excited to try it. And then we had also said on that episode, I remember this specifically, it's going to depend on where that circle is, whether or not this will be fun. Because, for example, if it's in the, southwest corner of the map, there's not really anything to loot. And then, like, what if it's downtown? That wouldn't be great. So Tanner and I played some Verdansk Resurgence today. Guess what fucking happened, dude? The circle was smack dab in the middle of down fucking town. So the whole game was in downtown.
Twice. 2 times in a row. Back to back.
True.
It's like the same circle.
True. Guess how much fun we had? Absolutely none. Absolutely none. It wasn't fun at all because downtown fucking sucks. And it sucks even more when everyone is forced to be there and you don't have loadout yet. And then when you try and get your loadout, there's some fucking rat on a rooftop just baiting that loadout crate. And there's just not shit you can do. Yeah. Now, did we do well? Yeah, we got like 3rd place one of them. But it wasn't fun or exciting getting there, and it fucking sucked. So the point is that we were correct in our analysis. I feel like the fun of this mode will depend entirely upon where that circle is. For example, if the circle was in like farmland, I think that would be a fucking fun match. Farmland doesn't have too much verticality. It's got some cover.
Yeah.
It's got some shit you can loot, and that would be fun. Or lumber, maybe, too. Quarry.
Even like a military base area, too.
Millie. Yeah. There's like some good areas, but there's a lot of just dog shit areas where a circle could be. Like downtown. That just make this not fun. So, if you have to gamble on where the circle is to have fun or not in Resurgence, at that point, go play Rebirth Island Resurgence. It's just better. It's consistently going to be fun, because no matter where that circle is on Rebirth Island, it'll be made for that mode, and it'll be like fun and good to go.
Yeah, agreed. So to me, yeah, since it was in downtown, it honestly just felt like we were playing regular Verdansk Battle Royale. It was not intense at all, like Rebirth Resurgences. There was rooftop campers everywhere. There were people sniping everywhere. There were people I couldn't see everywhere. There were people pushing my building with dead silence that I couldn't hear everywhere. It just wasn't fun. And like it would have been fine if I was getting in firefights all the time and it was intense, but it wasn't like that at all. So it's not even relatively close to being as fun as Rebirth Resurgence. I don't even know if I'll play this game mode anymore. I don't think there's a reason to.
I agree.
If you want to just get intense, fun gunfights, then go play Rebirth Resurgence. If you want to play Verdansk, then just play regular Verdansk, because this for us did not feel any different at all. So, if anything, I feel like the circle needs to actually be smaller. Because it's like when there's all that verticality and shit at downtown,
yep, exactly.
You run around for a while without seeing someone. That's not how it is on Rebirth. Rebirth, wherever you land, there's another team landing with you. You can land somewhere on Verdansk Resurgence and not see a team for 10 minutes still.
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
So that's the other difference. Maybe if it was smaller to start with, it'd be way more intense. Keep the same amount of people, keep the 40 players, but pretty disappointing. But also I guess this is an LTM. Maybe they would have kept it in if people loved it, but I don't think anyone loves it. People that like Resurgence would 100% rather just play Rebirth.
Yep.
And then people that don't like Rebirth will play regular Battle Royale. So I don't think this game mode really fits in. Kind of sucks because we were very excited for this, but yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, agreed. It's just a big don't care. But also, yeah, like Tanner said, it's an LTM, so I'm not like super, heartbroken about it. But I just wish the circles we had gotten had been in like farmland or something. I think that would have been a lot of fun and different. But you know, I'm not going to gamble like, oh, let's see where the circle is. Oh, it's in Promenade East. Back out.
Yeah,
Back out.
I think literally anywhere on the map would be fine, other than downtown, anywhere at Promenade, airport, and then prison.
Awful.
Prison. Well, prison actually may play very well, but I just hate going to prison. Period. But that may actually be kind of intense. Maybe not though. But for sure, those other ones: Promenade, airport, downtown. No, get them out of there. Yeah, if the circle never went there, then this would probably be fun. But I bet you they're thinking the opposite. Like, oh, people want to fight in downtown. Like, people don't usually like downtown, but this will be intense. The circle's small, so we'll put it in downtown more often. But cool. And somebody's just at the top of the fucking 30-story building sniping me
Actually,
from
yeah,
above.
exactly. Exactly.
So
exactly.
It makes the circle seem that much larger, is what it is.
It really is like a larger circle
buildings.
because like there's a circle on the ground, but it extends infinitely upward. So when you're on Rebirth Island, there's like 3 stories. So it's like the circle times 3. But in downtown, it's like the circle times literally 20. Because there's 20-story buildings. They could be on floor 20. They could be on floor 19, 18, 17, 16 for multiple different buildings. So it's actually like you're playing on 20 times. Not exactly, because there's, you know, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was dog shit. So
Yeah.
anyways, whatever. It's an LTM and it's not coming back.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I actually don't care because I just won't queue for it. Go ahead.
Same. Exactly. We just won't play it anymore.
All right. Next up is the satellite shit that's new in the video game. So I still don't know exactly what this is. Like, there are random little satellite dishes strewn about the map. And if you go up to it and interact with it, then like a comet shoots down and it like 100 or 200 meters away from you. Then you go to that, you open the fucking time capsule, and then you get an item. And it could be a loadout drop marker. It could be an advanced UAV. And I think it could be a couple of other things. And I believe it's only one item, but it's like a very good item.
Yeah, and it was armored trucks before they took those out. Yeah, it's basically like you start off doing a recon. You see these little like satellite looking dish things, and yeah, you just cap it like a recon. You don't have to press anything. You just run up in the area. You start doing a mini recon, and then you hear a fucking satellite crashing and out of the air and flying somewhere, and it sounds exactly like the missiles did at the start of Verdansk 84 or before Verdansk 84 came out. Super cringe. They use the same audio file, change it, put a little bit more effort into your video game, take a little bit of pride into your video game.
That comment,
yeah. And then that crashes. It tells you where it's at. So yeah, loadout drop, advanced UAV. You could get an armored truck. Those are gone now, of course. We'll get into why they're gone. But if you see one, it's 100% worth doing because it's like it could be a free loadout drop. But I'm pretty sure they're entirely random. You don't see where they're out on the map. So if you run across one, great, do it. You can get a free loadout, advanced UAV, whatever. But yeah, it's something in the video game that's new for sure.
Yep. That is the correct amount of enthusiasm to have for this feature. You can't seek them out. You can't exploit them. You just, like, if you find one, you got lucky and just do it and you get something cool. Okay. I don't know. Why? Again, there's probably some lore explanation for why they are doing this. I don't know what that is because I don't care about Call of Duty lore, really. Same. At all, actually. But yeah, they're fine, I guess. They're cool. The only thing I would say is you can pay attention to these because you can see when other people's are coming in. And if you wanted to get aggressive, you could just follow that fucking trail of smoke and then go to the thing. You know they're going to go there, and then you can camp them and fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
And it is possible, for example, they pick up an advanced UAV or a loadout drop marker, you kill them before they use it, and then you can pick it up for yourself. So there's just a little tip for you. Keep your eyes peeled and your ears peeled. And don't worry, unless you're deaf, you'll hear it. So just make sure you look around to where they're landing. But other than that, I find this largely uninteresting.
Yeah.
And it in the same vein, these fucking red doors. Now, I haven't seen one yet. I mean, it's that simple. I've played for many hours, haven't seen a red door yet. Now, I'm told they're in the game, but I haven't seen one yet. What's interesting about that, however, there are rooms in Verdansk that are otherwise accessible that are now inaccessible because they are the destinations of a red door teleportation device. So, for example, in Salt Mine, formerly known as Quarry, there are rooms in, I don't even know what that building would be called, but there's like a room, it's like a corner room of a building that you can normally run into. But if that happens to be attached to a red door somewhere else, it's inaccessible. That annoys me. It makes me mauled. And the only way to get through that door is to find the red door wherever it is that teleports there and then open it from the inside. This is annoying to me. We also saw one of these, by the way, at Prom East. Jake found it. Jacob Down found it. You were playing with us, Tanner. It was like upstairs in one of those buildings. He was like, oh, but this one was opened. He's like, oh, this is one of those red door rooms. I was like, oh, okay. So basically what happens is you're running around the game, you find a red door, you go through it, you see the machine elves, and then you come out on the other side, and you're in one of these, like, rooms. It's not a new area, like we hypothesized. It's not like the area north of Quarry or Salt Mine in those tunnels. It won't take you there. But it'll take you to a room in Verdansk, and it'll have, like, I think 2 boxes, like orange boxes, and some other good shit, like a lot of money. Similar to, like, the vaults, how those used to work, but with way less loot than those.
Yeah.
And then you open the door, which is only openable, that's a word, from the inside, and then you go about your day. So, what are your thoughts on these red doors, Tanner?
Yeah, so also, I haven't seen a red door once. I've seen streamers go through them. You get great loot out of it. But I will say they're not nearly as, like, dumb and overpowered as I thought they could have been. So,
true.
Like, people mostly, you're just using them to get loot. If you find, you're like, oh, cool, let's go through this, let's get loot on the other side. You're not using it to teleport across the map, which could have been a major problem. But thankfully, it's not. Because that's what we were kind of worried this would turn into. Is like, if anyone played Fortnite, they had, like, these, like, wormhole things at one point all over the map. They were massive, they were everywhere, they were out in the open. So somebody started shooting at you, you would build a ramp real quick up to this hole, you would jump through it, and it would, like, 2 seconds would go by, and you would be dropping somewhere entirely different on the map. And you would use those specifically to get away from other people. Thankfully, we don't have that issue with this. So that, of course, is fantastic. Yeah, because it's like that was the point of those. You would just do it so you wouldn't have to fight people. It was so stupid. So thankfully, the only reason to do it is strictly for loot. That's great. So the red doors, fine. Again,
are they in static positions? Or are they random like the satellites?
I think there's probably like 100 different potential spawn locations or something for them, for example, and then it'll just rotate every game. I think that's what it is. There's not nearly 100, I'm sure. It's probably far less, but...
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Like buy stations.
Yeah, exactly. So I still haven't seen one. We haven't really been searching for them, though. But I don't know why this is necessary in a Call of Duty game. This is getting too stupid. like Fortnite, and I'm just, these are the type of things that they'll keep doing more and more of this BS, and it'll eventually turn the community off, and people will finally just be sick of it, because some cheater will go through a red door and fuck their ass from behind, and then they'll just be like, that's it, I'm never playing this game again, because it's just dumb garbage that doesn't really belong in a game like Call of Duty. Put it in Fortnite, sure, that's what it's supposed to be, it's dumb like that. Don't put this stuff in Call of Duty. But all in all, they could have been a lot worse. They're just whatever. I don't want them in the game, but they're not busted, so that's fine.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is like, these are kind of underwhelming, but that's also a good thing, because I can't see a scenario where the red doors are like meaningful and worth using all the time, and also not being overpowered, Like, we were afraid, like Tanner was saying, like you could use them to run away from people, or they would like teleport you to the gas or some shit like that. And they do none of those things. So now they're just like kind of like, don't care. But that's good, because it's better than having something really like busted, overpowered, or stupid.
Yeah.
Like the vaults were, or like when you were able to buy fucking Foresight, Red doors could have been something toward Foresight. That would have been far worse. Or Specialist. That would have been far worse. But instead, they're effete.
Don't give them ideas.
And I'll edit that out. And ineffectual, and not worth using. And that is good. Better than the alternative. So it's completely untransformative, but that's okay. That's kind of where we're at. Now the most interesting thing that happened, besides the new weapons, I think, is this next point here. Weapon balancing changes / new barrels. Now, the barrel changes for Cold War guns are fucking insane. And when we went over the notes on Wednesday, we were awed. We experienced shock and awe at how crazy these barrels sounded for Cold War ARs and LMGs. And then I remember we had read the Task Force barrel, how it increases vertical and horizontal recoil control by like 15%, velocity by like 50%, and effective damage range by like 35%. And we were like, damn, dude, that sounds really fucking good. That makes the Cold War guns a lot better. Guess what? We've never been more correct than we've ever been then until now. And the effect of Task Force barrels on these Cold War guns is even more dramatic than it sounded like. The Farah, for example, with a Task Force barrel and a GRU suppressor and a field agent foregrip, doesn't recoil. It simply doesn't move, right? So it made these Cold War ARs fucking insane for long range now. I mean, so insane. None of the guns have recoil anymore. I'm actually not sure how I feel about it. It's certainly fun to use because you feel like a fucking god because you just can't miss. It's kind of like a kilo, except you do damage and kill in sooner than a second. Crazy. But the barrel changes were even more transformative than even I had expected from seeing them on paper. It's shocking how much different Cold War guns are at long range now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this barrel, Tanner?
They're pretty damn insane now. Yeah, it made like all of these ARs that people used to complain about, like, console players that would say the Cold War AK was not usable for them because it had too much recoil. Well, guess what? You should be able to control it now and also have really good velocity and a really good time to kill at range.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear you bitching about that anymore, right? So this is a massive change. This made pretty much all of the Cold War assault rifles really, really good. I think this was needed too, because this gives us that longest barrel that the Modern Warfare guns have. However, Cold War guns, I think, still have, well, they definitely have more variations in the barrel. Like, you can run something like a Ranger barrel, which will give you even, like, more bullet velocity, but, like, nothing else, pretty much. I think Ranger is just bullet velocity, and the downside is, like, something weird. Aim walking movement speed, maybe. I don't know.
It's like
But so
fewer upsides, fewer downsides.
yeah, so that'll give you even more bullet velocity, but you don't get anything else. You don't get recoil control, so you can kind of use those, in more ways. Say like if you really think about it and want to set up like I want like a perfect medium range AR. Maybe the Task Force isn't the best one. Maybe the Task Force is better for long range. There's still more barrel choices now with the Cold War guns, but the last barrel is now essentially like the longest barrel on every single Modern Warfare assault rifle. So I'm really glad. Yeah.
Oh,
no.
Like the
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really glad they do this. They did this and made a ton of guns a lot better. But yeah, definitely made the M-Dub ARs quite a bit worse.
I am of the opinion that every Modern Warfare assault rifle is not worth using at all now. I don't think a single one exists. For every scenario, in every case that you might want to use an M-Dub AR, Cold War AR is just going to do it, and it's going to do it better. I don't think an M-Dub AR is good now. I don't think there are any.
Yeah.
The only exception I can think of is maybe the AS Val for like if you're playing like duos and you're sniping and you want something that absolutely shreds like pretty close. Maybe the AS Val is better. I actually don't even know if that's true though. There could be a faster killing like Cold War AR. I don't think there is.
Yeah, probably not. Not the AS Val, but
so maybe the AS Val has a very niche purpose. But other than that, is any M-Dub AR worth using for anything in Warzone? Because like you were saying too, it's not only the Task Force barrel, it's how they changed all the other barrels too, to where you can use whatever barrel you want depending on what you're using it for. So for example, if you wanted like a sniper support Cold War AK, maybe you don't put a Task Force barrel on, but you can put on the one that's like, only 15% velocity instead of 50, and only like horizontal recoil control or whatever, but it has fewer downsides than the Task Force barrel.
Exactly.
It's got more mobility. So it's like, why would I ever use an M-Dub AR when I have all of these options at this point? Is there any one worth using, do you think? I genuinely can't think of one.
I mean, we'll pull up the chart again here because, like, as you can see, the AMAX still kills faster than a lot of these other guns. Like, it still kills faster than the FARA, the Krig, things like that. But again, the thing that, like, again, console players always complained about was that they couldn't control the recoil on the AMAX. So that gun, it still has the potential time to kill, but if they can't control the recoil, then there's no reason for them to use it. So I think more than anything, these barrel changes really benefited console players that are on a lower field of view. So it appears they have more recoil than others. Because like I could already control the Cold War AK before. So now it's just even better for me. But yeah, it's like when you look at this chart, the AMAX has worse bullet velocity than like it appears all of the Cold War assault rifles. It has a lower rate of fire than most of all the other ones. So you miss one shot at range versus missing one shot at range with the FARA. Again, you're going to lose that gunfight. Even though that has a better potential time to kill than the FARA does by a little bit, it has a way worse rate of fire and has a lot more recoil now. So you can still use them. I wouldn't say they're chalked like the Kilo is. The Kilo now more than ever is about the worst assault rifle in the game. Hey, stay fucking mad, but seriously,
recoil argument anymore.
Look at the chart. I don't care what you say. There's no reason to use the Kilo whatsoever now. Nothing.
True.
Because you should be able to control the recoil on these other guns now too. So stop using the fucking Kilo. No, I don't get killed by Kilo users. I'm just telling you there are better options for you to use that you should try because they're better than the Kilo. So try something else. But yeah, dude, this really mixed things up for sure. There's a lot of really usable assault rifle options now. I mean, like the types of weapons you can use before were great, and now it's even better once the MG82 nerf comes. We got, there's even
true.
You can use different Cold War assault rifles you wouldn't usually use. Like I wasn't usually using the FARA a whole lot, but it's like now that's probably going to be my main assault rifle, I bet, going for. That and the Cold War AK, I'll use that some more. But FAR I want to try out because I haven't put a ton of time into it in Warzone. It's been max, I've used it, but I haven't given it like a solid shot and like used it, you know, for like a week at a time or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I love these barrel changes.
I agree. Yeah. On the topic of the AMAX, like, yeah, it does have a faster CTK than some, but not all of the Cold War ARs at long range. But it is so much more difficult to use than every Cold War AR at long range. If you put a task force barrel and a GRU suppressor and a field agent on any Cold War AR, it will, no matter what the AR is, it's going to have way less recoil than an AMAX, like, period. And like the Cold War AK, for example, kills faster than an AMAX and is also infinitely more easy to control.
Yeah.
So it's like you can use an AMAX still, sure. There's no reason to. By the way, that's 45 rounds versus 60. That's another thing.
True.
So it's like, yeah. So this what's interesting to me about this is like, we just went from like all the MW AR, many of the, okay, we just went from all of the best long range ARs being MW to now all of them are Cold War.
Yeah.
So even if we have the same number of total guns in the meta usable pool, they're now all different guns. And I quite like that. Because even if it's the same number of guns, they're all different. You know, I've used the AMAX enough to never fucking touch it again in my life. I'm over it. I'm done.
Yeah.
I've used the RAM, the M4, like all of these things. I'm done with them. I'm over it, dude. I've used them for hundreds of games. Ooh, well, a lot of games. Probably hundreds actually. So now we can like do this again with Cold War guns, and that's super exciting to me. But now also what you guys have to kind of consider is our
black helicopters
theory about COD 2021 and the future of Warzone. What was a hypothesis we floated? They're going to phase out the MW guns. And how do you do that? Make them shit so that when you do take them out of the game, no one cares as much. That's certainly what it looks like they're doing. Because every meta SMG is a Cold War SMG. Every meta AR is a Cold War AR now. Snipers, we can talk about. I think the car is still the best sniper in the game. I think that is also the only MW gun in Warzone that is meta, is the car. I don't think there is another one. Shotguns are out of vogue right now, and if they are,
right. There's not.
They're using the Street Sweeper, you know? I think the car is like the last...
Or the Gallo after the Street Sweeper nerf.
That too, yeah, or the Gallo, exactly. But I think the car is the last stand for MW. And once they either buff the Swiss some more, which I don't think they should or are going to do, or nerf the car, which I think they might do. I don't know if they will, though. Then MW guns are fucking out. And if they never bring them back into the fold, then you should have very skeptical hippo eyes when it comes to the future of MW guns in COD 2021's iteration of Warzone.
Yeah, I don't know, because we did think that for a while, but then they did come out and that one passed, and they're like, we're going to be looking at a bunch of Modern Warfare guns that are underutilized, and we're going to give them some love. So it's still possible they'll entirely phase these out, but it's like they'll just give them a little bit of love, like they did with some of these guns, like the Scar. They added like a multiplier bonus, and that was about it. So it's like little things like that. Maybe they're just going to do small changes so they can kind of fit in the meta. They can kind of, you know, hold their own with other guns, but they're not going to make any busted Modern Warfare weapons from here on out for sure. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know if the car needs a nerf. I don't think it does. Some people do. It's very fun to use though, and if it does get nerfed, there will be a lot of people that'll be mauling. The Kar 98 is the clip machine. That gives you the most exciting clips out of any gun out there. I don't care what you say. There's not a more exciting clip than like really quick scope or, you know, just insane Kar 98 shots really quick.
True. Totally agree.
So I think
it's just the stock that needs to get nerfed. I should have
the aiming stability on it.
Yeah. It needs a little sway.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on here, there were a lot of other weapon changes, and a lot of those have made some pretty big impacts. Like a standout for me that I was trying today was the Milano. The Milano's pretty good. It got buffed quite a bit. I can let me tell you again exactly what happened here with the Milano. So it got maximum range increase, minimum range increase, and maximum damage range. Wait, what? Why did it say that twice? I don't know. But then it got some torso multipliers increase, etc. So the Milano got a lot better. That was feeling pretty good. I think that's in the mix. But again, with low rate of fire weapons, you miss one shot and you're just dead, right? The Milano seems like it's going to be like a good hip fire weapon, though. It seems like you don't need too many hip fire attachments to make it have a very small cone, you know, a small spray pattern. So I think the Milano is going to be in the mixed. It's good at medium range too because it has no recoil. It has good iron sights, and that's fun to use. And so that was another gun that was buffed, as I just said. So like earlier we were playing and I was in fire station. They downed Raz from far away. I got the res off. We heard them pushing. I'm like, okay, these guys are coming. I popped up, fucking downed one guy with the Milano real fast, finish him, ran around the corner, ran outside, played it up, slid back in the corner, drop shotted the fuck out of the second guy, finished him, kept running through, slid around the next corner, downed the third guy, and then I think you or Bango finished him. I did all of that. I had like 15 bullets left in my magazine still. I fully killed 2 players and I downed the last guy. Still had enough bullets to easily down one more person. That's with the Milano, I think it's a 55 round magazine.
Wow, that's crazy.
So a gun like that, really good. But if you miss one shot and this dude has a PPSH or a MAC 10 or either way, if he had a Cold War MP5, I probably would have been dead up close. But guns like that are in the mix now. And that's really cool and that's dope. You know, I've been hearing good things about the Scar. I know you were using the KSP, and I was hearing decent things about that. So there's been a bunch of other weapon changes with this patch that were really, really good that we didn't expect, and I'm glad they put it in. Like people saying the XM4 is pretty good at long range now too, whereas like, you know, because these barrel changes, again, that made the XM4 that much better. It doesn't need any other nerfs. I mean, it doesn't need any other buffs, but it got that barrel changes, makes it better. So that's in the mix now for long range, like FAR and Cold War AK. It doesn't have as fast a time to kill, but it's still in the mix. It's a gun you can use. So this weapon balance overall was like really, really good, and it brought a bunch of guns out that weren't really usable. I mean, the Milano literally before was like the worst fucking SMG.
Yeah,
it was
awful.
It was probably was there a worse Cold War SMG? I don't think so, right? That was probably the worst one.
No. Well, KSP maybe.
KSP probably. But yeah, then that was buff now too. So every Cold War SMG now is at least viable. Before those two were just, you see Milano ground loot, you keep running, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll keep my fists. Thanks. Yeah. Oh, you know what else, by the way? Speaking of kind of miscellaneous, before I forget. I haven't been meleeed to death. Since they changed that. You notice that? Have you?
Yeah, and I tried to melee a guy, and he actually shot me back and killed me, rightfully so.
No.
And I was like, cool. I won't do that again. Dope.
Yeah.
I'll use my gun next time.
Yeah, true. So, yeah. I mean, I agree with you. On the topic of the Milano, I completely, very unforgiving, but it competes now for sure.
Yeah.
I actually like 90'd on someone with it, and I thought I was for sure dead, because once I started shooting, I was like, oh my god, this thing has a dog shit fire rate. But since I didn't miss, I got the down, and I was shocked. I was like, damn, I barely got out of that one alive, but I did. But like you said, if I had missed literally one shot, he would have still had a plate. Like, It would have been, I just would have been completely fucked. It is interesting, though, that you were talking in your that tail you spun, that fabrication, that you full 2
Mm-hmm.
down to third and still had 15 rounds left.
Yeah.
That is an argument to be made for slower fire rate SMGs.
Yeah. It's a
It's
trade-off.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. The benefit is you can keep ammo in the mag to get a lot of kills inside one mag without having to reload. The downside is don't miss or you're dead. See ya. And that's cool. That's what we always talked about, that we've wanted with Warzone for so fucking long, is for guns to have their identities and for them to be worth using depending on what you want to use them for. And trade-offs, exactly. If you have trade-offs, you can't say the fucking the PPSH is better or worse than the Milano or the Cold War MP5. It just depends on what you want to use them for and what risks you're willing to accept and what weaknesses and strengths you're willing to accept, rather than there just being some standout obvious choice like the MW MP5 had been for the first 10 months of Warzone.
Yeah,
that's great. I love that. And Raven's continuing to keep that up, and they're bringing up dog shit guns to get in line with those things. I don't know if the Milano got enough love yet. I need to use it more to kind of get a sense for that, but definitely a good start, and they certainly didn't go overboard. The Milano's definitely not overpowered or anything. KSP, I used it for one game. We did well. I think we won that game, actually, but
yeah, you were frying that game with it too.
Yeah, I got a couple kills with it, but it didn't feel like overpowered. It didn't feel dog shit either. I don't know. I think it's just like kind of fine. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like kind of fine. Yeah. So other guns, I mean, now I'm in the boat. This is why it's a first impressions episode. There's so much shit I want to fucking try that I just haven't yet.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I have tried also is the Farah, like we've been talking about. Holy shit, it fucking bangs so hard. God damn it. It's easy to use and it kills very competitively.
Yeah.
Like very, very competitively. I think that's the best Cold War AR for long range right now. And that brings us to this question. Once the MG82 is nerfed, assuming it's nerfed sufficiently, what is the best gun in Warzone after that?
I think it's going to be the Farah and the Cold War AK. I think those are just the best two for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Farah has absolutely zero recoil and a higher fire rate. AK is just, it's an AK, dude. It's a fucking beam. You can set it up with a red dot. You can set it up with an axial now. It has less recoil than ever. It's really fun to use. Kills fast up close. Kills fast at range. Got great velocity. So I think those two are going to be numbers 1 and 2 in the AR category.
Yeah.
The only thing about the Farah that's dog shit is the goddamn recoil. I mean, not recoil. The reload time. Yeah. The reload time is awful. It's gotta be like the worst assault rifle reload time in the game.
I agree.
It's not great.
It's really fucking slow. Yeah.
Like, I think I kind of experimented a bit with a 60 round fast mag on that, and I think it may be worth it because I don't think it hit the ADS that much. I don't have the numbers on it, but it didn't feel like it hit the ADS much at all, and it made it reload a little bit quicker, made it feel better. It still felt like it didn't reload as quick as just like a normal AK does, but I think that 60 round fast mag may be the move on the Farah, honestly.
Interesting.
I think it's just enough to make it a little bit better, but either way, either 60 round mag is going to work. Dude, I hate that reload speed. I think it's like the actual visual of it too. It's so like, you can just see him doing it and it looks like he's doing it so slow. I'm like, bro, put the magazine in there. Yeah. It's like put the magazine in there quicker. Makes me so mad.
Yeah. True. He takes his sweet fucking time. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. Farah, absolutely, I think is going to be what everyone's using. All these streamers and shit, I think they're going to be using a Farah as their primary with an axial and all that shit.
Yeah.
Cold War AK, I mean, it's really fucking good. Maybe people will start using that too. The most I've seen a Cold War AK used is as a sniper secondary. But that was before this update. So I'm sure it'll continue to be that after the update. I am curious how many people will try to use it as a primary with an axial. I'm certain it'll be good that
Yeah.
way. And it kills even faster than a Farah, too, and an AMAX. So maybe that is the play.
Again, though, it's like way worse fire rate. Just, you know, it's a trade-off again.
Interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That Cold War AK rate of fire is 600. The Farah is 790. It's a lot faster.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
You know, long range time to kill, Cold War AK is 600 milliseconds. Farah is 684. But that could be the difference of like missing one shot or not, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
you have another note here. I'm interested in this take.
Yeah, so I've seen a bunch of people talking about the Krig. Everyone's like initial thoughts was, dude, the Krig's gonna be busted. Hot take: the Krig is the Cold War version of the Kilo. Not as bad though. Kilo's unusable in its current state. Unusable compared to all these other assault rifles. But the Krig, I just think is like not good. It kills slower long range than like the Farah, the AK, XM4. I think it has a little bit more recoil. I may be wrong, but it feels like it kind of bounces side to side a little bit more. You know, it's got that kind of odd, slightly horizontal pattern, which is harder to control than vertical. And it's like, if you can control recoil, at range, the AMAX, FFAR, Groza, and the new assault rifle C58 all have a higher potential time to kill than the Krig. So I've never liked the Krig in Warzone. I always thought it felt a little bit off. I think mostly it was that horizontal recoil it has. In my opinion, the only benefit like the Krig has over some of these other ARs is it's got a quick reload speed. Like way faster than the Farah for sure.
Interesting.
So it's not horrible like the Kilo is now more than ever, but they're just better options to try. So if you're like a Krig user and you think that's good, just use a Farah and it's pretty much just strictly better everywhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
agree.
The only thing that's going to be worse is the reload time. So use a Farah, give it a shot. You know, if you're like loving the Krig and like, this is meta, this is like the best AR right now, you're wrong. It's not. Try the Farah. It's only going to be better for you. I promise you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I tried using the Krig after season 4 and it just did not feel, it's funny that the numbers are out now because I was like, man, this thing is just not killing fast enough. It's like I was just losing fights I felt like I really shouldn't have lost.
Yeah, we'll pull this back up.
Sense.
So Krig, long range time to kill, 736 milliseconds. So it's like, that's about the same as a Modern Warfare M4. Modern Warfare M4 is barely slower. Yeah. So it's like, you know, Cold War AK, AMAX, FFAR, Farah, yeah, like I said, Groza, C58, XM4, like every single LMG pretty much all have a potential time to kill a lot quicker than the Krig. So, you know, it's like I can kind of see before the reason you use it because like lower recoil, but now with all of these barrel changes, I think that just kind of pushed it further away from being like a top tier assault rifle.
Yep, because even if it did have less recoil, which I think maybe it does with no attachments, it doesn't matter now. The Task Force barrels are just so fucking good for recoil. You can use whatever the fuck you want, and it won't have recoil, so why take a Krig? Like, that doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Another thing I want to try, I didn't get enough of a chance to try it. I tried a little bit, is the Groza. Because they buffed the Groza.
Yeah.
And I was trying to use it as a sniper secondary. Did okay with it, but not as well as I would want to. And I think it's because maybe it's because I didn't have the right attachments. I was experimenting with barrels, with suppressor types, with magazine sizes. I'm kind of unsure how to set that up. But it did get buffed, and I do want to try the Groza a lot. And you haven't used this at all, right?
I've used the Groza as the sniper secondary. I use it for a bit. Yeah, it didn't seem that great up close, though. It wasn't bad, but I wouldn't pick it over, like, pretty much any of the Cold War SMGs now, I don't think. Or it's like I would just take an AK or an XM4. So it was something different to use for sure. The irons aren't bad, but they're also... Well, the irons are still better than the XM4. Fuck the XM4 irons. But the irons aren't as good as, you know, AK, other guns like that. So.
Yeah. So the Groza, I do want to investigate more. I want to investigate a lot more, though. So anyways, other than that, that's kind of where we're at on that. Next, the new fucking gulag. I hate the new gulag. I think it might be the worst gulag we've ever had. Not sure yet, though. My win rate must be 15% on this gulag. It fucking sucks. And here's what happens. Too much clutter. Too much shit everywhere. It's like playing on Piccadilly. It's like playing a 1v1 on Piccadilly. There's just items everywhere. You're not going to see anyone. You're not going to see the other guy until you're 2 meters or less from each other. So it's literally whoever happens to walk into the other person first is going to get fucked if that first person is not moving and is ready to pre-aim some corner and shoot it. I hate this gulag so much more than I had expected to, and it makes me irate. I think I've gotten, I'm not kidding, 2 or 3 kills on a sightline. Maximum of 3. Every other kill or death is because someone turns a corner and, surprise, fucking Jack in the Box, he's right inside me. And then we have to do that, which is not skillful. It's like a just luck fucking hipfire simulator. Or, God forbid, they're just waiting for you to walk around that corner, and then they're inside you and you're dead. I think this might be the worst gulag there's ever been, but I need to play it more to confirm that hypothesis. But I fucking hate it. I can't stand it. It is so much worse than it sounded on paper, and I'm furious about it. And the weapons in the gulag are dog shit right now, but that's...
I think that makes everything worse. That
fuck Activision.
Yeah, so. that makes us think that the gulag is even worse. Is like I got akimbo magnums, I think twice today. Just not fun, dude. It seems like they haven't been rotating the weapons as much either. It's like I've had akimbo magnums for the last month. Remember I used to update every week? Do they just not do that anymore? I don't think they do. They just stopped doing that. So I don't like it so far either. I've kind of noticed the last few times, I honestly feel like the play is to just mount in your spawn on that little wall and just wait for the person to hopefully come into your sightline and gun them down. The trouble is the longest sightline is like 4 feet. You hear the spectator footsteps more than the player you're fighting, which is always a massive issue because I'm like, oh, I hear his footsteps. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense because it kind of sounds like he's behind me, kind of sounds like he's above me. Can't really tell because the audio is awful in this game, so where is he? Meanwhile, he's on the other side of a fucking plywood wall that he sprinted up to and I couldn't hear. So, I don't know. I don't love it. I need some more time in it. Nobody likes standoff. Everyone hated standoff, but I, as of now, like standoff better than this. I don't know. To me, it's like you push that right side too, where it's like the little fountain too. All you can see is the top of their dumb head. All you see is their forehead, but their gun can shoot you, right? So it's like a stupid head glitch. I think there's just too much shit. Like, Standoff at least had, like, some sight lines, kind of. I don't know. I don't like it. I've never liked... There hasn't been a gulag, truly, that I'm like, oh shit, this is a good gulag. I've never liked any of the gulags, so I'm not the best person to ask.
Gunfight maps, man. Why does it stack the gulag?
Oh god, stack would be so much better than every single one, yeah.
Yeah, or fucking Kingsbury Road, or whatever the fuck it's called. What's the one? King's Landing? What's the... you guys know what I'm talking about.
Wasn't it just called King?
Maybe it was just called King, sure. That would be great. These would be great gunfight maps. Or, excuse me, gulag maps. But instead, they're 2x2 with fucking shit everywhere. I hate it, dude.
Gulags are just always bad. They've never designed a good gulag, in my opinion, so I don't know. Whatever. I'm just used to them being awful at this point. Yeah, every gulag would just be better if we had assault rifles or SMGs in them, and also no stun grenades, of course. Something else everyone has been asking for the last year, remove tacticals from the gulag. They won't do it, so go figure. They should just put dead silence and stopping power in to the gulag that's lootable, right? You spawn into the gulag, and within 20 feet, there's a bunch of shit on the ground. You can pick up your gun, you can pick up stopping power, dead silence. God, that'd be fun, right? Let's do that.
There was a playlist
I don't know.
like
Fuck
that.
the
It was
gulag.
like
Just remove
ODT
it.
gulag
Remove it
or
and just
something.
kill me. Again, fuck the gulag. I hate it.
Yeah. I don't know. This one's awful though. I think this exact gulag would be fine if it was literally double the size with the same amount of structures in it. So just spread everything out, and then it would probably be fine. But as it stands, it's just like, as soon as you turn a corner, they're right fucking there. And if they're waiting for you, you can't survive. You can't win. It's cringe. I hate this gulag. I need to play it more though.
I thought it'd be better too, just
I
because
did too.
the map
Yep, I
is
thought it would
based
be
on
way
like,
better.
oh, this will be the best gulag yet. But so far, it's just awful.
Yep.
There's, I don't know. There's like no sight lines for anything. It's just all the gulags. They've never made it about skill. They don't care about skill. It's just whoever gets lucky with their dog shit positioning, and that doesn't mean you're better because you had better positioning in the gulag, right? So.
Yeah, there's no outplay potential. This is all cap. It's all just cap. It's fabrications. The only time that luck is not the determining factor in the gulag, is if you see some dude first, you whiff it so badly that he flicks on you and kills you, then you got outskilled, or vice versa. Other than that, it's 100% who sees the other guy first and they're dead.
Yeah.
And it's dumb. And that's why they should use a gunfight map that's much bigger so that you can both get a beat on each other and then actually fight.
Yeah, or whoever's teammate is waiting in the gulag and telling you where the
which is
enemy is.
cringe. Yep.
Yeah.
Which is super fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's
too.
cool being able to spectate it, but don't put your teammate in the same gulag as you so you can see them. That should not be a thing.
It's really dumb, yeah. You actually get rewarded for having one of your dog shit teammates also be dead with you. Cool, man. That makes sense. Awesome. And let's soundproof the gulag too, because the spectator footsteps make me furious. But yeah, anyway, fuck the gulag. It's awful. Let's move on before I break my monitor. The dirt bike. The new vehicle added to the video game. It's fine. It's kind of silly, but it is fun as fuck to drive. It is a 2-stroke vehicle, and as a motorsports expert enthusiast, I did compete in the X Games, the Cross Games, or whatever they're called. I forget. It's so long ago.
Cross Games, wow.
So I'm an expert.
Cool.
And it does go fast as fuck, but not really though. So if you're on a flat road where you're not going to catch air, then it's the fastest vehicle in the game, sure. But that flat road doesn't exist in Verdansk. So what happens actually is every 2 meters you catch air and you slow down.
Yep.
Then you land and catch air again.
Yeah.
So in practice, it's actually much slower than an ATV because the ATV isn't going to go airborne at every pebble on the ground.
Isn't that
so it's
weird?
Not really that much faster, actually.
Yeah, it does not feel good at all. And yeah, they sound awful. They're entirely too loud. They show up on the mini map larger than a helicopter, larger than a Bertha, larger than an SUV. Fine. It's a vehicle. There's nothing to like. I don't hate it. I'm not mad they put it in the game, but it's like it drives so. It needs some serious work because it's like you hit anything and your speed like cuts in half. You're just slow all of a sudden. And it's like, cool. I can go really fast if I drive down the pavement through the middle of downtown. What else is going to happen if I go there? I'm going to get shot from 8 roofs and I'm fucking dead.
By an MG82.
By an MG82. Yes. So it's like, cool.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't use them unless you're in the first circle, the gas is coming, and it's your only option to get out of there. Of course, I was a hero, and I picked up Jacob down because he's dog shit. He got caught inside the circle. I made the hero play.
Cringe.
Got the dirt bike, went and picked him up, got him out alive because I'm a hero. I'm for the people. I'm a hero. Other than that, I ditched that thing immediately, and I was like, see ya. See ya. They're pretty hard to drive though, but there's been some interesting little clips people have been hitting. Of course, they've all been planned out. If you guys think they were actually real clips, you're just wrong. They queue into plunder with their friends. You can tell by the way the other person is standing, and why it's like, why is this person hovering in a helicopter in the bottom corner of the map not moving. It's like, okay, these are FaZe Clan quickscope clips from 2012, but it's just the new version of it, right? But it's like
they're fabrications.
It's all fabrications. It's all fake news. It's all not real. So, but yeah, people have been hitting some, cool looking clips on it. I mean, do that in a public game and then get back to me. I'll wait for FaZe Neo to put out a clip of him doing that, and then I'll believe it wasn't fabricated. But everyone else, cool. Don't care though. You planned that dumb clip and you tried that 180 times before you uploaded that version of it. So fuck you. I'm mad.
Yeah. They're also just simply too loud. I don't know why I guess in real
they
life
are really fucking loud. Yeah,
too, actually.
Yeah, I have a dipshit neighbor that, of course, you're not supposed to drive dirt bikes like that on the street here. They drive around the block every fucking week. He does wheelies in front of my house, drives like 50 miles an hour down a residential street. He's a prick. I hate him. But it's like, dude, that thing is louder than any vehicle that has ever gone by.
Him.
I honestly have contemplated throwing a fucking stick at him when he's riding by because it's so annoying. It's like, you're a douchebag, bro. Go fucking somewhere else and do that, asshole prick. Anyways, fuck dirt bike riders. If you ride a dirt bike, you're a douchebag. Don't listen to this program. But yeah, they're super loud. But more than that, it's like the audio itself sounds awful. It sounds like 240p audio versus 4K audio, right? That's the best way I can describe it.
Interesting.
They got
quality.
They got the worst audio clip imaginable and uploaded that for the dirt bike, dude.
Yeah.
It's so annoying to listen to. I just always mute when I'm on the dirt bike.
Bobby Kotick's grandson probably took a cell phone video of him driving his 8th dirt bike that he got that week. And then sent it to him in a text message, and they were like, "Let's use that one. That's the sound. Got it."
Yeah,
so,
I mean, if you ride a
Possible.
dirt bike, cringe. Just drive a car, right? Drive a car,
Or
or push a
your dirt bike
lawnmower
off a cliff.
Yeah,
You could do that too.
make sure the cliff is at least a few hundred feet.
True. In a game, of course, in Verdansk, of course. Yeah. So the dirt, it's cool that it's in. That's fine. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, it would actually be really, really good if your speed didn't just come to a halt if you hit any little bump.
They need to make a heavier chassis so that I'm not airborne.
Big heavy chassis.
80% of the time I'm in it.
I'm always high, dude. I'm always airborne. Yeah.
You just you stay up, right? You stay
I think
elevated.
they'll do some changes on it because it's like they've done changes to the Bertha and other vehicles in the past. So hopefully they do a few tweaks here and there so that you can actually go fast. The turning, I think, is also the turning radius at speed is, I mean, just don't even bother turning. You can drift, kind of. But, yeah, whatever. I don't really care that much.
Why is the icon for the smallest vehicle in the game larger than every other vehicle in the game, by the way? If there's a berth on your mini-map, it's a centimeter. If there's a dirt bike on your mini-map, you can't see any buildings because it's just all dirt bike. It has the biggest icon in the game. Why? Why is that? Does anyone else notice this?
The dirt bike icon is larger than Nakatomi Plaza, dude.
It's so big. It's like, why? What is the point of this?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's funny.
Anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a vehicle to get around. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We don't really care. It's cute.
Cute little boy.
Next point, Tanner. Go ahead.
Just another little random point I had here with this season. Ground loot is really, really good right now. There's a nice mix of new guns. If you land at Salt Mine, not every single gun there is a ground loot gray or green M60. You almost don't see them. I don't know if M60 is even ground loot. I don't think I've seen one. If I have,
it is anymore.
I'm just so turned off that it's like my brain shuts off the M60 in my head and just keeps going. That could be it too, but
block it out.
I haven't seen one. But yeah, most of the ground loot weapons actually seem pretty usable, which is cool. There's a lot of guns we haven't seen before or just not as often. There's variants of the QBZ. There's a few variants of the ZRG, which is dope, a sniper rifle. That's a good ground loot sniper rifle, by the way. Off the rip to have, that's a really good ground loot weapon. There's a gold variant of it. A lot of MP5 variants. There's like a purple one that has a suppressor on it. So just the ground loot in general, I think is really, really good right now, and I'm a big fan of it. They have like the shotguns and shit mixed in still. They're not as bad as they were before, like there's not as many. But since there's other good guns anyways, you're not like usually even picking up the shotguns because you always have like a better AR or SMG to pick up.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. There's no M60s, which is a great plus. Also, no more street sweepers. Awesome. Yeah, the ground loot's really good, but none of it's like insanely overpowered except the MG82.
Yeah,
but once that gets nerfed, the ground loot will be relatively balanced and varied and good.
Yeah.
There's not a bunch of magnums. There's not a bunch of fucking M60s. There, you know, so it's all like pretty usable shit.
Yeah, the new ARs in there. There's at least
the C58.
Two, yeah, there's at least 2 variants of that. I'm sure there's more. Actually, I think there's a gray one, a green one. I think there's a purple one. But yeah, it's a good ground loot right now. Big fan of all.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. Yeah, which is nice. And we are fans of that.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. Okay. Tanner, next one.
This little guy. Cool. Okay. So last little section we're kind of going to talk about here are things that we're little disappointed with, things we may have expected to be changed and didn't, things we wanted to be changed. So of course, to start with, the visibility. When I loaded into my first game, I wanted to think the visibility was better. I was like, dude, I think it's a little bit better. The sun was in the same spot.
I remember him.
I was like, dude,
coping.
I think, exactly, I was coping.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I think the sun rays aren't as bad. Nobody wanted to just straight up tell me like, they're not, dude. They're the same. Everyone held out hope with me. They made me think it was better. And of course,
You are fake news.
visibility's as bad as ever. Awful.
Yeah.
So I was trying to hold on to that lie. It's still awful. You can't look east. Don't take a gunfight looking that direction. You're gonna lose. And it's unbelievable, frankly, this wasn't updated in Season 4. Like, cool. You made some fantastic changes, weapon balancing and whatnot. Of course, nobody asked for any of that. What people asked for were the visibility to be improved, cheaters to be removed, which I know you're not going to do that and you can't do that, so that's doesn't matter. That's thrown out the window. And dead silent spawn rate.
Ever, by the way.
As bad as ever. And dead silent spawn rate to be reduced.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they did none of those. The 3 biggest issues in the game right now: visibility, dead silence, and sound. There's not even a point talking about the sound. The sound is like an anti-cheat. It's not going to happen. They're not going to change the audio.
True.
They're not going to get rid of cheaters ever. So those things, it's like we would love to be changed. There's not going to. But yeah, visibility and dead silence, both still in the game. Both fucking awful. 4-man squad can all land at train station, and you'll find 6 dead silences on the same floor level. They reduced the spawn of self-revives, which was probably, 20% of the spawn rate of dead silence. But dead silence is still fucking everywhere. I don't get the fascination with these Call of Duty developers and not having footstep audio. I don't get why people like having dead silence in multiplayer. I fucking hate it. I'm glad that people hate it in Warzone. You should hate it everywhere. There should be footstep audio. It's that simple.
I agree.
Dead silence, I don't even want the spawn rate reduced. I just want them out of the game. But I don't think they're going to do that, at least not now. So, super upset, honestly, that the visibility did not change and that dead silence is everywhere on the fucking map.
It's
Not
like
pleased.
they reduced the spawn rate of stopping power, and everywhere where there used to be stopping power, they just gave us more dead silence. Because it really is fucking everywhere, dude. And it's so yikes, man.
I don't think I can loot anywhere prior to getting a loadout drop and not find a dead silence. Like, I have a dead silence every single time by the time we buy a loadout drop. So that's within, like, the first 4 or 5 minutes at the most, the absolute most, that I have a dead silence already. Every single fucking game.
Yep. It's really dumb. I agree with you. Yeah.
I'm gonna go pee and keep talking.
Okay, yeah. That is of the fucking worst, and I hate it, and it makes me mauled. I don't think dead silence will ever be removed, by the way. I think if they had removed stopping power, I would say dead silence is coming next. But they didn't. They just reduced the spawn rate of it. They might do that with dead silence. They might not. But best case scenario, they reduce the spawn rate of it. Probably. Now, that would make Dead Silence even more OP if you get it. And I argued against this when it came to stopping power. However, I don't see stopping power ever anymore. I mean, it feels like they took it out of the game. I never loot it myself, and I never die to it since they changed it. So they must have really reduced the frequency of stopping power, where like most people just won't see it for hours. If they want to do that to Dead Silence, I would support that. That would be great. Maybe that's coming. I think it's plausible that it is. But right now, that is not the case, obviously. On the visibility point, we had talked about... We had said, like, yeah, maybe they will fix the visibility, but we were never, like, super confident that they would. So it's not terribly surprising that they haven't yet.
I thought they would. I thought it would be in this update. Because everyone loves the rebirth lighting, so why not do it to Verdansk, right?
I know. So now the question is... Because it seems like if they were going to do it, they would have done it when Season 4 launched. So since they didn't, do you think they will ever do it before Warzone 2 comes out?
I still think they'll do it at some point. The lighting, the sun rays, but I'm just very shocked it wasn't in this update. However, maybe they had already started doing all these weapon balance changes, so this will make a later patch. I don't know. I don't want to play on this visibility for another 5 months though until we get the next map. Still, it just sucks, dude.
I know. It's awful. It's awful, but that is the life we lead. So anyway, yeah, agreed with you on that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, another thing we're not happy about. I actually am happy about this because it's so fucking amusing to me. So these satellite things, originally, one of the potential rewards was an armored Bertha that was like upgradable, and it also had a turret on the back of it that you could shoot people with. Guess what happened?
I don't know. What usually happens with mounted weapons on vehicles in Warzone? What's happened in the past? I'm not sure.
I'm actually shocked that this happened again. It's actually surprising to me how, and it makes me, I mean, it's so funny. So they added helicopters with mounted machine guns on them. They caused players to go invisible, so they took them out. They added them back in again. They made players go invisible, so they took them out again. Then they added in Season 4 Berthas with mounted machine guns on them. They made players invisible, so they took them out. So something with mounted machine guns on vehicles makes players go invisible, and they cannot fix the bug. And it makes me laugh. It's fucking hilarious. I don't know what kind of cosmic justice this is, but I couldn't be more glad that they can't fix this bug, because stop trying to put mounted machine guns in fucking Call of Duty, especially Warzone, on fucking vehicles. Stop it. Stop it. So it's making players it was making players invisible once again. So they took it out once again. Now, will they add it back? And will it still make players invisible yet again for a fourth time? Can they hit the 4-peat, dude? It's possible. I wouldn't put it past them because they fucked this up 3 times in a row now. So I wouldn't put it past them. Hopefully, they learn their lesson like they did with the choppers and just stop trying. But
yeah,
I suspect they won't, but we'll see. What are your thoughts on this, Tanner?
Yeah, it's really just surprising and shocking that they still haven't figured this out. After I'm pretty sure the way to do it is exactly the same way people were doing it in the choppers. It's like you get downed or something. I don't know. It's something weird to do with getting downed while like you're mounted on it, I think. But insane. Like, seriously, Raven, just stop putting these in the game. No one wants them in anyways, and no one especially wants them when the people go invisible from using it and then kill me, right?
It's so crazy.
Somebody
dude.
popping a dead silence that already had stopping power loaded in their gun and invisible, driving around on an armored truck that has a constant UAV because the armored truck had a buy station on the back of it, and you can get a UAV that stays up constantly around the vehicle. Awesome. Any Fortnite lovers? Because this is fucking cringe and dumb.
Dude, and it took so much damage to kill that thing, by the way.
Yeah.
For the short time it was in, I was watching It's Iron, twitch.tv/its_iron stream. And he was shooting this Bertha. Dude, I think it took like 7 AR mags from 2 people. Like they had to empty their mags, throw a muni, and then they were like half ammo capacity. Just ripping the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
That is entirely too much health, obviously. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking of doing. I think this might be, like Tom Henderson alluded to, them testing the player base to see how much they enjoy vehicles that can shoot things in a BR. And they're going to like monitor Twitter very closely to see if people like this or don't like this. And then they'll maybe consider doing it or not doing it for Warzone 2 in 2021, depending on player feedback in this BR with vehicles like the armored Bertha that shoots bullets or the helicopters that do.
True.
Possible.
It is. Yeah, that's black helicopters. It's possible.
Yeah, it is a little black helicopters, but it is possible. But either way, looks like they're not getting around to that testing because they're fucking incapable of putting mounted guns on vehicles. And I'm happy about it. And it's the same glitch, the same way every time.
Yeah, it sure is.
How do you have this much money and you can't fix that glitch, by the way? I'm glad they can't fix it. Because I don't want this fucking gun vehicle in the game, obviously. Because I have a brain. But if I did want them, I would have to ask, how can you guys not figure this out? This doesn't seem like a hard thing to fix, but apparently it's impossible to fix, actually. Thrice now they've fucked this up in the exact same way. It's the same glitch done the same way every time.
Yeah,
so fucking weird.
It goes to show you again that there's absolutely no testing that goes into the stuff. There's no way, because like they've had this issue numerous times. I'm pretty sure it's far more than 3, by the way. Attack helicopters have been in the game and taken out. Pretty sure more than 3 times. I don't know. Either way, it's entirely too many. So, yeah, it's just crazy that like they know how these bugs are happening. Like, there's no sort of testing that goes into this before this goes live. Really? Wow. Now, I saw some people, I think in the Discord earlier, talking about like a test server. Test server would be fine, but also there's not a lot of people that end up playing those. Like, games have test servers. Me personally, I'm not going to play in the fucking test server. Why would I test the game and just be killed to bugs and shit when the developers should be doing that? The developers and dog shit people that they pay entirely too little to test the game, they should be doing that. We don't need a test server. They just need to test things before they implement them.
Especially this. Like, they know, okay, guys. All right, team, listen up. Every time we've put a mounted gun on a vehicle, if a person got downed on it, they would go invisible. So before we make this go live, hop in a custom with me for 2 seconds real quick and let's find out. They didn't even do that. It would have literally taken them less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Say, hey, Bob, get on the fucking Bertha turret. Let me down you and let me see if you're on the map on my screen or not. Yeah. That's all they had to do. It's not like they didn't know this was a potential bug because it's happened at least 2 times prior to this. But nah, fuck it.
Nah.
Because if there's anything the developers hate to do, it is play the game they develop for, obviously. And we know that from the MG82, and we know it from these bugs. So of course they didn't test it. Why would they? It's only been a recurring bug in the exact same way every time since 4 months ago. Why test it? It would only take 5 minutes to test it. Why test it? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. They're incompetent. It's an incompetent company running incompetent companies doing incompetent patching. which leads us to our next point. FPS problems and dev errors is the heading. Great heading. I don't know what's going on, actually. I wish I could explain to you what the problem is, but I don't know what the problem is. I mean, I load into a game, my frames are passable, they're not great, and the game should use my graphical processing unit. I wish it would, but it doesn't. But my frames will be consistent with what they were last season, and then all of a sudden they'll be 50. I have a 3090, which has more VRAM than 5 PS5s combined, and then I get 50 frames in Warzone, which has never happened. Weird. Okay, cool bug, man. Thanks. Good testing. So then you fucking jerry rig a fix for that. Sure, great. And then we had another fun and exciting bug where we would dev error. Don't know why. I don't know why. I can't explain it, but sure, cool, man. And then we ended our Thursday extravaganza or Friday extravaganza with I would be in the main menu at 9 frames per second, and then I would dev error. And I said, okay, maybe it's like a memory leak. Fix that, by the way. Your game shouldn't have memory leaks, but it does. Oh, okay, sure. Leave the game. Reboot the game. That fixes memory leaks. That fixes dev errors and problems. No, it doesn't actually. Super weird.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't actually. So I have 6 frames per second in the main menu. Cool, man. And then I give up. I'm done. See ya. What was the problem? I don't know. I don't know what the problem was. But all of a sudden, I couldn't even operate the main menu of the game. So, as we've said many, many, many times on this program, and we'll say it many, many more times, every new major update, every new update of any size, but especially every new major update, will be a disaster of biblical proportions, and they might fix a bug or two, but they'll introduce a dozen more. And this was my experience, but I'm hearing reports from our community and from Twitter that people are dev erroring more than they've ever dev errored before. I mean, Jake Down, when we tried to play with him, dev errored probably fucking 5 times in the span of 5 hours. And just goes to show you, no testing is done, no quality assurance is done, no quality assurance team exists, and if you do exist, you should be fired. Whoever runs the quality assurance team at Activision, Beanox, Raven, Infinity Ward, or whoever the fuck, Demonware, Toys for Kim, or whoever the fuck is involved.
Bob, Toys for Bob, dude.
Toys for Bob, whatever. Fuck Toys for Bob. Fuck Bob and fuck his toys, and fuck the development studio, and fuck the manager of quality assurance at that company, because you are massively incompetent. You don't assure quality. You don't do any assurance, actually. There is no assurance. You're just embezzling Activision. Yeah. Because you don't do anything, but you're on the payroll, supposedly. So, I mean, just a disaster. And, entirely unsurprising, but we have to repeat it for you to drill into your mind, dear listener. This company fucking sucks, and don't take time off on a new update or a new game or a new X pack or anything for the first week, because it will be virtually unplayable for the first week. And we saw it again. Shocking.
Yeah. Nothing else really needs to be said there. It's just, I think more dev errors than ever. If you're having the FPS drop, there's a bunch of fixes out there. Like, Google it, but it's like you can change the graphic setting, apply it, change it back. Some people are saying you can Alt-Tab out, literally click on your desktop, open the game back up, it'll be working. Some people are saying that their FPS is going back up when they would just check the scoreboard and then go back out. But there's a bunch of various ways you can supposedly fix it. But that dev error one was funny. Dude, the first time I got that error, it said something about disk read error.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, do they even fucking make a disk copy of Modern Warfare on a PC? There's no way, right? I was like, disk read error. Holy shit, this game. And then, as every time we tried to join on Raz, happened 3 times in a row. We'd try to join his party, it would load like it was joining, boom, dev error, fatal error. Like, what? And then at first I thought it was just me, and then like somebody else tried. I don't remember who we were playing with at the time. Was it? Yeah. And they would dev error too, trying to join on Raz. Insane. Every single update, there's major bugs, major issues that get introduced. And then it takes so long to fix those. By the time those are fixed, there's another new update coming out, and it's just full of more bugs again.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Rinse and repeat, baby.
Amen. And this is on top of the just cheater explosion. It's not even an explosion because they're just at critical mass, and they have been. I mean, like it's just it's just outrageous. Experienced many cheaters today in Verdansk. We experienced the fun and exciting hipfire bot, where you just fire. You don't even ADS. You don't aim at all, but you get only markers. You only get hits.
Yeah.
So it was super cool because we were in a building on a roof. They threw a smoke on us because they don't need to know where we are. Doesn't
Cheating
matter.
sweat lords, dude.
They're sweating and cheating, so they smoke us out so we can't even see them, and then they just boat the fuck out of us
through the smoke. So funny.
Just an awesome game, man.
They're
I'm so
just
glad it's free to play.
They're
dude.
always
It's fucking awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah, they're always teams now too. Like that, I assume that whole team was cheating. Minimum, the two of them I saw were cheating, but it's like every single time now, it's a full squad of cheaters. There's not one guy anymore. It's a full squad. Bad, dude.
Yep. Just sad. It's just sad.
Yeah.
Because like what they're like the MG82, I forgive them for. Definitely test your guns, but whatever. You're gonna change it soon, so that's fine. And after that nerf, like the state of the game itself, in theory, would be really good. But we're still gonna have rampant dead silence, rampant cheaters, and an inability to look east or toward the sun in the game.
Yeah.
That it's like man, the landscape and the weapon balancing is so good and so fun right now and so varied. And there's more customization and personal choice than there's ever been. And it's all for naught because your game is infested with dog shit.
Yep.
And it's like it just sucks so bad. Just so much wasted potential.
I know.
It's like having a kid with like a 9,000 IQ and he just like is a heroin addict and just doesn't do anything. It's like, man, what a shame.
Yeah.
What a shame. You could be such a good person, but here you are in the basement just banging H. It's like, what a waste. You know,
Yeah.
what a waste.
Pieces of shit. I thought this was really
Activision, get this kid to rehab. Give us an anti-cheat, dude.
Yeah. Truly.
That's all we want. That's all we want.
I thought this was the funniest thing. Like, as I was saying earlier, a lot of the content creators were like joking with Raven. They're like, give it like a week on this new gun so they can make videos about it. So one of the people that replied to Raven on Twitter was Nick Merckx. And he was like, give it a week.
Yeah.
And then Raven replied and they're like, yeah, ... no. Talking about the MG82 nerf, saying like, no, we're going to do it earlier than a week. Within minutes, Nick replies to Raven's tweet because they just read his other tweet and they replied to it. All he says in the tweet, 2 words, anti-cheat. So it's like, they read it. Obviously, they read all of these things and then, they don't respond to it because they can't. They're not going to. But it's just so funny. It's just to anti-cheat. It's all he says to them. Just like rubbing it in their face, like, fuck you, make an anti-cheat.
Yep.
Again, It's Activision. It's not Raven, but that was pretty fucking funny.
That was funny. Yeah. Yeah,
But,
I saw that too.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for our initial impressions, huh, buddy?
Yeah, that's it for initial impressions. So, cheaters won't get better ever until the next game, and then we'll see. And then visibility might get better. I'm not optimistic. I'm not as optimistic as Tanner on this point. I think maybe it'll get the Rebirth Island treatment, which would be very, very good, very welcome, but I'm not saying it definitely won't happen. It could, but I'm not optimistic that it will. Cheaters will not get fixed. MG82 will be nerfed. It'll be sufficient at some point soon, even if it's not the first pass. So overall, I'm happy with the patch. The dev errors, I think, will be hopefully fixed relatively soon. So all in all, okay, when you expect every new season to be a bug-ridden infestation disaster like we have come to expect, you just take those things for granted and then judge the patch based on things besides that. So for a normal game, we would say, oh, this patch is a disaster. You can't even play the game. But since we play Call of Duty and every patch is that way, it's kind of a wash. So then you say, okay, well, yeah, sure, it's a bug-filled fucking unplayable disaster. But so is every Call of Duty patch. So we're not going to judge it on that. We'll judge it on other things. And if we do judge it on other things, then we can say this is, I think, all in all, like a pretty good new season. The main gripe I have, besides things that are important that won't ever be changed, is that the new weapons, none of them I don't see being in the fold or in the meta. Nail gun is just won't be. MG82 is going to be nerfed enough to where it's not like #1 meta, I don't think. And then the C58, again, I think is going to be outclassed by things like the FARA and the Cold War AK in virtually every respect. So the only real complaint I have that could have been otherwise is that none of the new weapons are really going to shake things up very much, at least for a while. So those are my initial impressions.
Yeah. Overall, I think the update's pretty good in terms of things they can actually change. I'm just very disappointed that there was no lighting change in Dead Silence hit, because, again, those are like the two biggest things all the content creators tweet at Raven about, so I'm shocked they didn't change anything with those. Yeah, that sucks. But the stopping power thing kind of came out of nowhere too. People bitched about it for a while, so I'm still optimistic that those two things will be changed here soon. But who knows? They do things we don't expect, and then end up liking, and then they don't do things that literally the entire community wants and expects.
True, actually, yeah.
But yeah, all these weapon balance updates, really good. MG82, yeah, overpowered. That'll get nerfed, though. Not a problem, whatever. The new assault rifle is okay. It's not going to be busted. It'll be serviceable, though. It'll be interesting to mix it up, use that, but it's nothing crazy. But yeah, all in all, I think it's pretty good initial impressions. Kind of lighter for a major season update, right? Not a whole lot in there.
That's what I was thinking too, actually. There's not that. This is like. That's what I was thinking too. It's like, man, it doesn't feel like that much changed with this season.
Yeah.
Actually.
Uh-huh.
Because the satellites and the red doors, I'm sure they required a lot of like development time. But the development time to like impact on players ratio is very not good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could spend a lot of time making a gun and that's going to like impact players a lot potentially. But like, you know, these fucking red doors and these satellites, it's like, yeah, you gotta spend a lot of time on it and like, okay, fine. But
yeah,
they don't impact my game much at all. So it's, it's, there was a lot done that doesn't matter this season. And therefore the season feels light. That's like the dirt bike's another one too. It's like they put a lot of time into a lot of shit that doesn't really matter or change how you actually play match to match very much. So it's like there's new shit, but no one cares about it. So it actually doesn't feel like a very transformative, different new season.
Yeah.
At all.
Agreed.
It feels like there's some new guns. This feels like a mid-season update where some new guns came out. That's what this feels like, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, agreed. So hopefully on the next mid-season update, we get those other new guns and they shake things up. Also looking forward to the sweeping weapon balance change that Raven alluded to in the Season 4 patch notes that we talked about. That can be very interesting depending on what they do. I am looking forward to that most. And then after that, I'm looking forward to Season 4 Reloaded. But that, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep. Same.
Cool. All right, motherfuckers.
Jeez.
You little bitch, you little piss boys. Any piss boys listening? All right. That's it. That is episode 142. We got no new patrons before this episode. Don't let it happen again. Patreon.com/the Dropshot's the best way to support this program. We do 5 bonus episodes a month. We do weekly hangouts. We do gameplay breakdowns. We do community events like tournaments. We do monthly live call-ins. We have a lot of benefits there, so check us out there. It's the best way for you to support the program. It's the best for you because you get all the bonus content. It's the best for us as well. So we really encourage and appreciate all of our patrons. It's the best way to support the show. So if you wanted to waste some of your hard-earned money on this program, do it on the Patreon first, please. It's the best for everyone. Patreon.com/thedropshot. You can also find links to everything, our YouTube, our Patreon, our TikTok, etc. at thedropshot.com. It is our website. You can watch us there live at thedropshot.com/live every Wednesday and Saturday at 6:30/7 p.m. Pacific time. So thank you, boys and girls, to all of our existing patrons who are not freeloading pieces of shit like most of you listening. It's a joke. Relax. You can freeload. But don't. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you very much. This program is only possible because of our patrons. So very much appreciated. Season 4 was interesting. We'll have more for you on Wednesday, and then we'll be going over Season 4 as it relates to Cold War next weekend.
Yeah.
So with that said, that is it. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.